As a child, we all long for a hero. As a society as a whole, we search for that leader that can be our hero. But as we mature and as we grow, it dawned on us that the hero is inside every one of us. And in the world's social media, we all start at zero. And slowly we search deep within ourselves to find who we are. And we have that moment of truth where we embrace that the hero that we've been searching for has been there all along. It is living deep inside of every one of us. And we start embracing that journey and we become that hero that we search for.
Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to episode 40 of Zero to Hero. Today we are joined by an awesome guest. She's had to start over a few times, but she's found her path and she is truly becoming a hero here all over the country to mothers and children alike. So her name is Vanessa Jupe. She is the founder of the Leva app. Hopefully I said that right. Let's bring her in here and find out. Vanessa, how you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Did I say it right that time?
Yes, Leva.
Perfect. Leva. All right. So tell us what is Leva before we get into this. Let everybody know what's going on in the Leva app.
Yeah, absolutely. So Leva was founded to support women throughout the entire journey of their lives. And our first focus really is on becoming a parent because motherhood is challenging in a lot of different ways. And we are in the process right now of launching the Leva app, which is focused on tracking breastfeeding, diapers, bottles, formula, all of the things that you need to know as a mom, but also with scientific information in the app to support you and a whole community wrapped around it. So that is the focus that we have now. And it's resonated really well so far. So we're super excited about the journey that we're on.
That's so awesome. Yeah, and I know as a father of two and watching my wife go through everything that there is to go through with becoming a mother, the apps are so essential, right? I mean, before it was like a board, right? You would like kind of have to track everything on, and now we've got these awesome computers in our pockets where it's like, bam, it's in there, it's done. You don't have to think about it. It's one less thing, right? Where it's like, oh, I've got to do this, right?
Totally.
Just knock it out while you're on there. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So in a couple of sentences, Vanessa, not Leva, right? Who is Vanessa Jupe? Who are you? Give us your pitch.
I am a mom and a founder and a person that really believes in equality and supporting women on their entire life journeys. And I've also been in and out of leading women's organizations at the companies that I'm part of and things like that. So I'm also super passionate about technology and product management and doing the right thing by our users. So I really love the career I've had and the journey I've been on. Outside of all of that, my top 3 values are freedom, continuous learning, and family. So I try to live my life according to those values. And being able to start a business and have people working with us all over the world has been enormously rewarding in that sense.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to get back to the app a little bit too.
Yeah.
So you've kind of brought up a couple times that it's supporting women throughout their entire lives, right? And it's funny because when I told Kevin that you were coming on the show, I described it as a breastfeeding app, right?
Yeah.
But that's not all that it is. So what else can you find on the app, or what else is going to be on there? What's coming soon?
Oh yeah, great question. I mean, the app is really initially intended to support expectant mothers and mothers that just recently delivered. So truly it does cover a lot around breastfeeding, but we also have information around formula feeding, infant health and maternal health. We have videos that help you understand how to get back into shape if you want to, and how to strengthen your pelvic floor. We have a slew of meditations in the app as well, because mindfulness is critically important to how we experience the world. It helps us regulate our emotions. It helps us, kind of manage everything in our lives. So the more we can meditate and practice that, it's really, really helpful for us. So I would say you're not wrong. Like, that is the core focus of the app right now. And over time, we've also done a bit with career coaching. We have a lot of articles in the app that are focused on career coaching. We've worked with coaches in the past, and that is another aspect of the app that we're looking to bring in again. Right now, you can book live sessions on our website with a career coach, or in our app, you can book sessions with lactation consultants and sleep experts. So today, our app, initially, let me take a step back. When we built our beta version of the app, which we just launched in November, so that we had a very small trial with a couple dozen moms, what we started noticing was that we were actually getting women signing up for the app prior to delivering their baby. And we were really thinking, this is a great solution for women that have just delivered. And so they're trying to figure everything out. And then we started seeing women sign up and in this like preparation stage and really wanting to have something ready for like when their baby got here. So then we went back and we started creating content around what to expect as your baby's growing. So we go through like week 0 all the way through week 43 of if you happen to go, over your due date of your baby's development, and also the changes inside your body. So we're really reacting to what we're seeing in the market and users' feedback. And that is the core. But our goal is over time, over the next several years, to start to build different products and services to support women all along their life journey, starting really at like that moment of kind of graduating college and starting out in the world. How can we help you get the best job? How can we help give you that advice? How can we help you manage your finances from an early age so you're set up for success? And then through menopause, which is something that's still taboo and not discussed nearly enough in our society. And I understand that it has a lot of health implications and impacts your mental state and things like that. So that's something we absolutely want to support and help women navigate. And then through retirement and making sure that you're living a great, healthy life in retirement. So when I talk about Leva and our grand goal, it really is to support women all along their life journeys. And we're starting out with, becoming a new mom and the struggles that come with breastfeeding, because that is a really poignant and massively impactful changing time in your life.
Yeah, and also one of those things that's not talked about enough, right? And
So
it's still kind of
true.
taboo, right? I mean, it's like, how can you be uncomfortable nourishing a child,
Yeah.
wherever you are? I don't care where it is, right? Which is something I always
Yes.
told my wife, right? Like, you do what you need to do. If anybody has anything to say, I got you,
I
right? Like, don't
love
even
it. Good
worry about
for
that,
you.
right? So it's up. These are things that need to be talked about quite a bit more. So I'm appreciative that you're one of the people that is doing that, which is awesome. Um, let's get into our next question. I know you've had quite a journey with this already, but we're a marketing company. We like to ask about it. So tell us about your social media journey.
I mean, we're still very much on that journey, right? So, I have these crazy ideas in my head. Like when I start something, there are these like I have to do something right now and get going. So with Leva, like creating our Instagram account was like one of the first things I had to do. I don't know why, but it was like it made it feel real. And so Instagram is really where we started our social media journey. But we created a Facebook page. We've dabbled with TikTok. We're very active on LinkedIn, and we're becoming more active on LinkedIn all the time. And then we just launched a Facebook community for users of the Leva app to be able
That's awesome.
yes, it's amazing to be able to join. And we've had several moms ask questions. We had a mom that was up late at night the other night, and she's like, hey, I'm noticing this with my 2-year-old. Does anyone have any information? So it's just really cool to see like the community coming to life and it becoming real. It's something I've worked on for a couple of years, and now seeing it become real and seeing moms talk to each other has been so amazing. And we actually have a lady that just joined us on the live, Kylie. Kylie Knight has been an amazing asset to our team. She's our social media manager, and she actually
Awesome.
does all of our Instagram content and has done a lot with different giveaways and cross promotions and things like that. So we have a couple thousand followers now, and I think as the app becomes out there in the market, we're just going to grow and help support women in new ways. So it's been exciting.
Yeah, I love that what you said right there about it making it real,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like if you're not on social media now, you're not in business, right? I mean,
Right.
especially kind of in this post-COVID world where we don't know if everything that's on the internet is really open or not open anymore. I was actually talking with my boss Kevin about this when I came to the company, and how I was going to Facebook pages and seeing, have they posted recently, right?
Yeah.
That was like almost an indicator of like, are you in
Are
business,
they
right?
still
So that's
around?
right,
Totally.
right. Yeah, so that's so perfect that you say that it's like, yeah, when it goes on Instagram, right? It's official, it's real. It's almost like
Yes.
a relationship in the early 2000s, it's not official until it's Facebook official,
Facebook
right?
official. I
But
love
you're
it.
Instagram official, we're officially in business. So that's
Totally.
awesome. No, that's great stuff. So the next question here, Vanessa, is every superhero has that defining moment. So what is your defining moment when it comes to life and career?
Ooh, um, I've had several, but I'll focus on probably the most poignant one for Leva and for this conversation. So I've always been, I describe myself as like, I'm very type A, right? Like most of my career, I've set goals, I work toward those goals. I'm very deadline driven. And so when I accomplish something, I move on and I set the next goal. And I thought like it would be the same way being a mom. So I did a lot of research to get ready for my pregnancy. I had a consultant I spoke with ahead of time around breastfeeding. And I just thought things would kind of like work out this way. And I also thought if I couldn't breastfeed, I would be totally fine and it wouldn't bother me at all because I grew up on formula and I would be okay giving my kid formula. And then I had my baby and the delivery was perfect. Okay. It was like everything I like imagined it would be. Like it was horribly painful, but it was great. I had my baby at home. He was healthy. He was happy. We were all together. My family was together. It was amazing. And it looked like he latched all right. Like that day when he was delivered, he latched and started nursing. And our midwife that was there and our doula that was there were all telling us that everything looks good. And over the next few days, we were nursing around the clock just like we were supposed to. And then we had him, weighed by the midwife and he wasn't gaining enough weight. So that was really surprising because I was like, wait, what's going on? I've been doing everything I'm supposed to. Why isn't he gaining enough weight? And then as more time went on, it started becoming incredibly painful to nurse him. So I had no idea what was up. Like, I didn't even know that was going to be an issue. I had no idea. Like, everyone tells you breastfeeding, it hurts a little bit in the beginning, but it hurt way more than I thought it would. And it started getting more painful instead of less painful. So it kind of threw me for a loop. And then I started doing a ton of research around like all of the things I was experiencing with breastfeeding. That really meant Googling a ton and then trying to find information. And a lot of the information I found was just other people's opinions, which is helpful and like their stories, but people's opinions also come with a specific point of view that's not based in scientific fact. It's often based in opinion. And sometimes those opinions are very judgmental. And so as a new mom trying to figure things out, being met with other people's judgment really made me feel ashamed of the struggle I was having. It made me feel like I wasn't a good mom because I hated breastfeeding. It was because it hurt so bad and it was so exhausting. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow, I'm a bad mom if I don't breastfeed. Okay, this idea I had about feeding on formula and that being fine turned out like not to be the way the rest of the world viewed it. So I was really having a hard time rationalizing that. And I started seeing a bunch of different experts, right? Like lactation consultants. I went to several different lactation consultants. I even went to a really well-renowned OBGYN in the city I was living in at the time, which was San Antonio, just because I wanted a doctor's opinion. And it also was incredibly surprising and frustrating that there wasn't a doctor that specialized in this, right? We have lactation consultants that go through a lot of training and they're certified, but like they're not doctors, And so it would be great. I was like, I just need a doctor to talk to. And OBGYNs don't specialize in that. But I was like, that's the closest I could get. And she told me, hey, you should feel relieved that you're living in a time that we can give formula to our babies and they don't die. And I was like, well, that is a logical statement. And yet does not jive with my emotions, right?
Right.
I ended up having to give him formula. And I then stopped breastfeeding for the most part, except for like at night to help him go to sleep and have that kind of bonding moment just because the pain was ridiculous. We also had to go, we did this, like he had a lip tie and a tongue tie, and we went and had all of that revised, which means they basically like cut it off with lasers. And then that was like sad to see, and then my husband had to do all these mouth exercises for weeks afterwards to try to keep the tissue from regrowing. And so that was just like, it was such a crazy ride. I did not have the slightest inkling would be a thing. So yeah, I ended up basically exclusively pumping for a year,
Wow.
going back to work and then like 3 times a day at work pumping. And then of course, like all the other hours that you're at home pumping and like going to conferences and having to figure that out. Like I'll tell you, there are so many places in this world that are not set up for lactation. Like I couldn't believe it. I went to this very fancy hotel, like really not even a hotel. It's more of a resort in San Antonio for a conference my company was having at the time. And they didn't have a nursing mother's room. Like there was nowhere to go to pump milk.
Wow.
And so they had to open like their spa for me and give me like a private room in the spa so I could pump. And I was like, this is absurd. Like at first they're like, oh, do you want to use the bathroom? I was like, heck no, I'm not using the bathroom. No way.
Disgusting.
Right. And the only place that they had an electrical outlet was at the sink. So like if
Oh,
other people that I
jeez.
worked with were coming in, like I'm not gonna pump out there with
Right.
like any coworker that could possibly, no, thank you. So I just was shocking. Like, and there were several incidents like that. I mean, I went to 3 or 4 different conferences during the year that I was, a nursing mom, and it was like none of them were set up right. I think several times I had to go to my
Mm,
car and pump like while things were going on. So it's just
jeez.
crazy. It's just all of these things you kind of feel like as a society we probably have better systems in place, and we totally don't. So
Right.
we're just like not supporting women and not supporting moms in the way we need to. So I'd say like all of these experiences kind of added up to be a catalyst for me to want to do something about it. But I didn't know what at the time. I just knew it really was painful for me. And I always say like, oh, I can do hard things because I'm an executive, right? Like I've had a great career. I've been an executive at several companies now. I've broken the glass ceiling in some ways, right? And I was also a runner, and that's hard and all this stuff. But man, having a baby and being a mom and breastfeeding and all that stuff is way harder and more painful than anything I ever experienced before. So I was like, we got to do better as a society. And so that's where Leva really came from. And I would say that was the defining moment for me.
Such a good answer. And I love some of the stuff that you brought up there because I remember a time when formula was like that was like the preferred method for a while, right? And it seems like it's gone back and forth so much now. And
Totally.
I remember when my first was born and sitting in the classes and they're like fed is best, and it's like,
Yes.
okay, I can get behind that, right? Like that's as long as the baby is fed and nourished and they're thriving and they're growing, what's it matter, right?
Right.
Whether it's and I get that there's some benefits to the skin to skin and all these kind of things, but if the baby's not getting enough food and mom's in
Yeah.
pain and all these things, it's like, let's just make sure the baby is fed and everybody's happy. That's
Totally agree
so
with
so
you.
important. And the rooms too. I mean, I know that's a big. I'm like on the father side of like we need changing tables in men's bathrooms, but like
Yes.
it's like such a minor thing compared to like where do I go to, make sure that I am providing nourishment for my baby in privacy, right? Where I'm not
Yes.
exposed and all these people aren't walking around and doing crazy things, and it's,
Oh,
yeah,
totally.
there needs to be more. And I know that there's quite a few companies that do well at providing rooms, but sometimes
Yeah.
that scheduling is difficult, right? Or people are using the room for things that it's not intended for
Yeah.
and everything like that. So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
100% agree. We need to
100%.
do better
I
as a
love that
society.
you said that, like the changing room in men's restrooms or changing station in men's restrooms. I love that. And I feel like so many buildings have been designed by men without without a lot of like female perspective. Just a side random story. So I'm remodeling a little house here. I'm in upstate New York right now. We're remodeling a small house that we have, and we're remodeling the bathroom. And so I was like doing all of these layouts in this 3D rendering program, and I had like a toilet, a trash can, whatever. And my dad was like, "You don't need to put a trash can there. It's a tiny bathroom. You're taking up way too much space." I was like, "No, you don't get it. Like I'm a woman. Women will
Right.
be using this bathroom. There needs to be a trash can in this bathroom." He's like, "No, no, no. Don't put it over there. Just put it across the room or just put it in the other room." I'm like, "No,
No, you don't get it.
we need to be one, right? Like we have periods. We have to throw our supplies away. Come on."
Right.
And so it's the same thing, right? Like that's a small, but I've been in men's restrooms and they don't even consider that. I'm like, come on, man, I'm visiting you. I need a trash can. And it's the same thing with breastfeeding. It's like, would a building not have a pumping room? I know it's like a year or 2 years out of a woman's life, but we all go through it. So if this is a big, convention building or a big hotel or something where you're going to have a lot of women coming through, or 51% of the population, you should consider that, right? So it's just a lot of different perspectives make things better. So
Yeah,
anyway,
you would
yes.
think that it would be a no-brainer, but
You
obviously
would
we
think,
still
you
haven't
would
figured
hope.
it out. It's 2023, so maybe
Yeah.
we'll get there one day. I don't know. So Vanessa, to you, what are the attributes that define a hero?
I think heroes, I mean, they obviously stand for they stand for something. So having a clear vision, a clear perspective on the world, having values that really believe in and that are positive that you can share with others, I think are important. I think a leader, having leadership skills, being a really strong leader, not a dictator, listening to and leveraging the strengths of the people around you, are really good attributes. And then creating an atmosphere for others to be successful. I know there are a lot of heroes, kind of in modern culture that don't necessarily fit that bill. But to me, I think that's what makes somebody a hero. And then I think fighting for something bigger than yourself. Obviously all heroes are like, they help save the world or, save a certain group of people or whatever. Like that's what being a hero is about. And when I think about heroes in our culture, and especially as a woman, I think about, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Sojourner Truth and women that actually fought for a whole, like over half the population to be able to vote in this country. That was just slightly over 100 years ago. So I think, you're kind of putting yourself on the line, and you're sacrificing, and you're getting out there and saying things that maybe people aren't comfortable with, or maybe it's not popular, because that things can be better. So to me, those are the qualities that define a hero.
That's so good. Yeah, I mean, doing what's right regardless, right? I
Right.
think is kind of the underlying message there, and it's so true, right? I mean, especially with all the outside noise, right, that
Yes.
can often get in there. I think sometimes it's hard to keep that path, but the true heroes are the ones that do it regardless of what anybody else says. So that's so good. That's so good. And then last question: if you had to pick a superhero that best relates to you, who would that be and why?
That is a really hard question. I know you hear that all the time, but it's like
Every episode.
comparing yourself to a superhero is kind of like insane. So I thought about like who are the ones I like. I mean, I love Captain Marvel. She's great. I was always a huge Iron Man fan, but he's kind of a jerk, but also amazing and smart. But I'm a kid of the 80s, okay? And if I had to pick a superhero that I really loved and that totally inspired me growing up, I would pick She-Ra, hands down. She was my inspiration. She's an amazing leader. She like rallies folks from across the world she lives in, and I really, really appreciated everything she did, and set a great role model for a girl growing up. And she's also a twin, which I am as well. So I also liked that about her.
Interesting. Okay, a lot of stuff that, yeah, absolutely. A lot of relation there. That's so good.
Yeah.
So well, before we get into that, when is the app officially launching? When can people look
Yes.
for it? Tell us about what's coming.
Okay, so the app is available right now in
Love it.
the Google Play Store. So if you have an Android phone, go to Google Play, download it. It got in there last night. It was approved. Woo!
Let's
And then
go.
the iOS, the Apple version, is currently going through the review cycle. So, that takes a little bit
Perfect.
longer. They're very, very strict about certain things, but it should be available this week, maybe
That's
even
so
tonight.
exciting.
Yes,
That's
it's
so
so
exciting.
exciting. It's like for real now.
Yeah. The Android users, go out there and get it downloaded right now. It's
Yeah.
available. And if you're on Apple, you're going to have to wait a couple days, maybe, but it's coming soon. So
It's true.
other than just downloading the app, how can people keep up with Leva? How can they keep up with you? How can they track what you guys are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned that we're very active on social media. Please follow us on Instagram. Leva.app is our name. And then on LinkedIn, follow us. We're Leva. You can also follow me, connect with me on LinkedIn. I love meeting new people. It's been a huge, inspiring journey. I've been focusing on Leva full time for the last 2 months. And I've met so many incredible people, and things are happening like really, really fast now. We've been building this for 2 years, but feel free to reach out to me directly. And then on Facebook, you can also find us there. We're Leva there as well. So, and did I mention our website, www.levaapp.com? So that's another great place to go, and you can download our app directly from our website.
Perfect.
And I also
And
just
if you
real quick
haven't seen it,
I just
yeah,
want to thank our amazing team that has helped bring this to life, because we wouldn't be able to do it without everybody that's been helping us. So shout out to Allison Hayerdahl. She's been running content for us for 2 years now, a huge asset. And then our lactation consultants, Laura Silvis and Erica McClanahan, you guys are completely amazing rock stars. And of course, my husband, Justin, who without this, I don't think I'd have the support to have done it. And I love you very much. So thank you.
that is so awesome. I love it. So everybody go check it out. Check out Vanessa, connect with her on LinkedIn, and then follow what they're doing on all the social channels. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much for being a guest on the show and really
My
shedding some
pleasure.
light on the stuff that's going on, with motherhood and women in general.
Yeah.
Great episode. So
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much, Gino.
Thank you. Bye-bye.